So, hello and welcome back, everyone, in this new episode of our podcast in the series. And today we have with us our amazing guest, Atharva. Hi, Atharva.
Hey Manik, hi. Hi everyone.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing quite good, quite excited. Manik and me are part of the DevRelUni Cohort 7, and we've been working towards the first three sessions together, and we are halfway there, so it's quite an exciting journey. And we are together here to discuss and walk you through my experiences, Manik's experiences about what the DevRel atmosphere is like, and give you a few tips and things like that.
Wonderful. That's really amazing to know, Atharva. Now, we would love to know more about yourself. Maybe you could introduce yourself and how's your journey look like so far? Because I got to know that you have a lot of experience in different fields. So we would love to know about you.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, thanks, Manik, for preparing this podcast, having this engagement. It's definitely good to put your voice out there, put your opinions out there, and build in public. So, thanks for that. To a little bit about me, I'm Atharva. I'm currently based in Pune, and I'm a DevRel and AI product manager at Akinox, which is a cloud-native cybersecurity company. At Akinox, I build a sort a lot of different things, which is my day-to-day job is not just one thing, but it's like six different things duct taped together, and most of it aligns well with the definition of a DevRel, right? So yeah. So basically, I create content, I create technical blogs, help documentation, publish technical books on Amazon for our readers, things like that. I also do GTM, which is launching new product verticals from zero and scaling them to get actual demand from the developers onto our products. And then obviously you cannot be a DevRel without planning some events, right? So we do webinars, we do offline events at KubeCon, B-sides, RSA conferences, things like that. And we do tooling as well, which means that to improve developer productivity, to improve developer adoption, we build AI native demand gen stats that replace like these old legacy tools to help teams and internal teams, external developers move faster. Then you build communities. So like that could be co-branded propositions, DevRel network building, building your hackathon, CTFs, all of that. And of course, a little bit of coding, building some websites, landing pages, in-house automations, creating release notes, things like that. So that's a little bit about me. Mostly DevRel and GTM engineer with some experience in technical content writing as well.
Wonderful. That's really amazing, Atharv, to know you have such a diverse experience. As you have experience in security somewhat because you are working in CNCF Cloud Native Security Company, you also do technical writing, freelance. You are also surrounded with AI, know about GTM and cloud. So what practical steps a person can follow if they wanted to start now in these particular field? Because the industry is changing rapidly due to this AI boom right now. Each day we are seeing any new model and how industry is disrupting. So you can share your perspective on all the fields one by one for the beginners who wanted to get into this field. What would be the practical steps to start right now?
Yes, absolutely. So right now the atmosphere is very crazy, like things are shifting very quickly. So my number one advice would be to identify your top skills and build a competency pillar. A competency pillar for me personally, for me it's AI, applied AI, cloud native and DevOps, web dev, DevRel, technical writing, product management. So I know which area I can operate well in, and I know which area I might not perform the best in, right? So getting that alignment with yourself as to what are your strengths, what is your experience. If you have no experience, what experience would you like to build? So assuming that so if you're a fresher or just starting out, you have to assume and think that you already have 5 years of experience, and in which domain would you like to, build your portfolio in. So it's mostly about building your portfolio and looking forward and assuming, like we had that session, like the second session with he mentioned that you have to be very clear about alignment and you have to pivot quickly, right? So that's why you need to build out your competency pillars list. Once you have your competency pillars list, it works pretty fine. And second advice I would give is to be a solopreneur and build online presence, right? So there are three pillars which I would recommend, three activities that I would recommend everyone to do, which is first build your website out. Website should be your home base. On your website, don't make, I mean, you can have it as a single pager, but try to build it out in a full-fledged manner. So you can have your work proposition. You can have what people get out of working with you. You can make it fun. You can make it about yourself. You can have service pages. So if you're operating in 3 to 4 areas, right? For me, it's AI automation, web dev, SEO, and product management. So I have different sub pages on my website that talk about specific offerings that I can bring to the table along these lines, right? Second is to have a blog. A website will work for you to get calls, for you to get inbound prospects for you. Second is your blog. A blog can have your long form thought pieces. It can have, it's basically your credibility engine, right? Because blogs compound. Every article that you add is like your permanent sales page. And I would highly advise against having thought leadership articles in the beginning. That comes much later in your journey, when you have 10-20 years of experience, when you have been a dominant member of that field, right? So initially I would address, what did you achieve at work? What did you do specific that unlocked a workflow for you? Or how are you thinking clearly and freshly, apart from all the noise, instead of churning what everybody is talking about, right? How did you apply it to yourself and make it very personalized and put it on your blog? That's something that will give you a lot of good inbound leads. And the third pillar is having a good social presence on Twitter and LinkedIn. Now, you might not like these platforms, or you might not, hate scrolling. But even though if you do not post on these platforms, I still think that there's a lot to take away even without posting, right? Because if you're just being active on Twitter, you get to see a lot of opportunities. I would not be a part of DevRelUni if I was not on Twitter, right? So you see every single day, you open all these platforms, like if your feed is curated towards you, towards what you like, then you definitely get to see a lot of, you get a lot of exposure on events, people, what they're building, some tools, workflows, X articles, things like that, right? And that is the biggest unlock that has been the biggest unlock for me, because I bookmark all of these things and I immediately get to action if I see something nice, right? So even if you're not posting on X and LinkedIn, which you should, it's completely fine to just be active and take away the learnings from other people building in community or other people building in public, just so that you get that exposure and you are catching up with the.
Wonderful, beautifully summed up, Atharva. All the things like build your competences pillar, be active on socials, and build a portfolio or website of yours, and start writing blogs. That are some really practical and good steps that a particular beginner person should follow. So if you're a beginner, just maybe take action on these aspects, and you'll see results. Whatever field you are choosing, whether AI, security, GTM, anything. I guess these are the general tips that will help you in all these things. So moving forward, Atharva, how do you leverage AI these days in your day-to-day life and all the work that you're doing with Equinox and any side projects that you're building?
Sure, got it. I'll speak about. So basically, my biggest project for this year has been building an AI second brain, which means whenever I log in into work, or whenever I log in and have my, open up my PC, I basically dump my brain into a voice note using WhisperFlow, and that transcribes everything that I'm speaking. Sometimes I speak for 10 minutes just to start off my day. I just think out loud to note down my tasks, note down my priorities for the day, right? And it just basically, humans are not good at organization, but humans are good at thinking out loud quickly, right? So I think out loud. I take heavy notes with a voice transcription tool, and my AI organizes them across my entire vault. My vault contains my meeting transcripts. It contains all my resume, my work portfolio, my past experiences. It includes all of my social profiles, my voice, my interests, my competency pillars, right? And it contains my daily log as well. Any ideas that I see on X, any ideas that I see on LinkedIn, all the plot skills that I've created, right? So it's literally a digital dump of my entire brain organized by the AI, right? So I input everything that I want to build experience in, or to fill a gap about, or to basically plan my. And I have AI segmented organize it, and cross-link it. So because tools like Cursor, Cloud Code, right, they're very good at multi-file creation, or they're very good at folder level creation as well. So you don't have to think in terms of architecting the system. All you have to do is be disciplined about and showing up every day and talking to the AI and have it arrange those files for you. Now I have 2000 files in that vault, which help me prepare for literally like anything because it knows so much about me. It can literally pull the entire vault and help me build a GTM motion or help me launch a different campaign attack and all things like that, right? So I'll quickly summarize how what achievements or how this has enabled or pushed me very further compared to last year, right? So it has helped me build 3 verticals from scratch: AI security, API security, SPOM, right? Through it, I have built positioning docs, I have built competitive analysis, block clusters, improved landing pages, created webinar series, and partner proposals as well. Because if you just document, keep on documenting, right? You will. It's better to document than to keep things in your head, because once it's documented, your AI can link a fact or a thing that has happened 2 months ago, which is highly correlated to something that's happening right now, right? I've built 7 article AI content cluster. The organic traffic due to this activity has generated over 1 million views across the technical documentation, the help portal for us. And the AI visibility has also grown. It's a big thing if you are working in the AEO, GEO space, and if you want LLMs to see your work, right? It's good to have that note and have it like in a on your website, basically on a hidden path. That definitely helps get you a lot of LLM citations as well. And I would also, yeah,
Yeah, go on.
and since we have launched several products, I would also spend a minute on talking about how to use AI to launch products, right? So first of all, start with your narrative, what problem you are solving and who it is for, right? Whatever the product may be, independent of what it is. If you want to test a true product market fit, you have to understand and outline what is the core problem here that you're solving. And for a person who's, it's much better to sell a headache relieving medicine to a person than a benefit thing. So definitely lead with the pain points rather than the benefits. Lead with the ROI rather than the features, right? So you're positioning as a DevRel, as a person who's going to market and get the adoption rates of your product. You should definitely understand positioning and build content around that first, right? So content first GTM, which means your blog clusters, your launch plans, everything like that. The app that I'm building for DevRelUni is more along the lines of that. I think it is going to enable a lot of people to get this checklist out of the box, and you don't have to be an AI mastermind to just be empowered with AI, because the entire community is building with AI, and we build on top of that, right? So I want to empower every DevRel, and that's why I'm building that AI content, AI empowered DevRel Workbench as well. And views definitely matter in these age. So getting organic impressions, LLM citations, qualified registrations is the most important metric. Let's not chase any vanity metric like just page views is not going to help you, just because the page views can come from non-qualified leads and things like that as well, right? So yeah, I would definitely advise building your AI digital operating system. Just focus on a couple of use cases, and in 2 months you will be much more farther than you are today. So yeah.
Amazing, Atharva. That's really amazing and great to know that you have built your AI second brain. Maybe we can talk about it later on. It's really interesting. Maybe if someone wants to build the same, so what steps they need to follow to build this AI second brain if they don't know much about coding. So what steps they can follow?
I can just share my screen because I
Yeah,
have
wonderful.
a blog written about it. Sure. So your AI second brain will literally power everything about you. I will share my file folder structure that will basically help people out, right? And you don't have to be overwhelmed about it because there's months of it. So you should start local, which means every file should be saved in the Markdown folder. You should start fresh, and you should not import any existing docs because it will lead to a lot of chaos, right? So start from today and see what it looks like. If you like Obsidian or if you like Notion, you can start there as well. But the best thing that works is a VS Code setup, right? As you can see here, I have a bunch of nodes and they're interlinked and clustered together, right? And this grows with time. I'll show you the file folder structure as well, so you know how to lay that content out for yourself, right? So if you see here, I have quick notes, which means any bookmarks that I see, any summaries that I see. If I want to have a quick, like basically just jot down a couple of tasks, right? All of that goes under quick notes. Archive is something that you are done with and you want to move along, but just store for the sake of record. Daily journal is like I told you, right? The day that I log in, I just dump my thoughts, my tasks, my work in there. And the day that I log out, I again do a check on how that looks. The digital twin is an important folder. That's one that I would request and encourage everyone to start with. So that digital twin folder contains all of these files that you see on the right, which means that it contains about.md, voice.md, your experience, your audience, your goals, right? And it's very detailed, just so that the AI understands about you and does not give generic responses. It can write in your voice. It knows everything about you. It knows your work history. It knows your successes. It knows your failures. It knows what you're trying to do in the next 3, 6, 9 months, right? So you have to approach this very carefully because the entire second brain will be built on your digital twin folder, right? So yeah, that's it. And if you want to write blog posts, right, this is the workflow that you can basically follow. And through that, you don't have to create AI slop basically, but you have to be very specific and give the raw brain dump or resources or links strategically in the prompt context, right? If you do that, you can convert it into a reusable workflow as well that runs without you. And yeah, so that's how I manage my content as well. If you see here, right, on my Substack, under Substack, I have ideas, I have drafts, I have published, and then I have socials, right? And then I have skills for automating all of that. So this is just for Substack, but this can go this can work for any sort of things that you have, right? This is almost from a 1 month back, but currently it's crazy because I dumped a lot of transcripts. But if you use tools like Obsidian, you will get a graph view that shows how your note X is linked to note Y. And that unlocks a lot of hidden potential and hidden connections from within your knowledge base, right? It helps you identify patterns and build out clusters of content as well. Because you can literally convert your entire work log or your day-to-day things, or you can just convert your idle scrolling into a powerful system that works for you, right? So as you can see here, it can I have so many ideas saved up. With every day I save like 3 to 4 ideas, and that should be achievable for everyone because you don't have to do all of this organization. AI does all of this organization. All you have to do is start creating notes and ask AI to link it together, right? So it'll look like this. So you capture your notes, you add it to a timeline. You have your digital twin for your voice audience experience goals. And if you are active as a content creator, you can publish it from ideas to drafts, and you can distribute the same published thing into a social flywheel. You can have your library. In your library, you can have your glossary. You can have a list. I have a list of GitHub stars. I have a list of good X accounts. I have a list of DevRel playbooks, what has worked for me, things in the past, things like that, right? And whatever PDFs that you have, like it could be technical books, it could be online resources, things like that, right? So it's just a permanent reading list that you have that's always referenceable. So yeah, I won't take much time here, but this would be the workflow that I talked about. To capture your raw thoughts, you have like a template that has everything about you and how you write. Those raw thoughts get converted and refined into a proper draft. You publish that draft, and then you run the social automation tool to basically move that to all of your socials. And as you can see, my Substack tag has so many articles, and between those articles as well. So it's a very it's a powerful learning tool, and it's a powerful knowledge aggregation tool, and it knows everything about me. So if I ask, like we talked about, right, maintaining your competency pillars is very nice. So if I ask what are my competency pillars, it knows about that, and it knows about it in great detail. So it tells me immediately. If I ask it to do something else, right? If I ask it to write 5 cold emails, it knows my work experience, it knows my profile, so it can easily write those cold emails for me on a bulk basis as well. Uh, it knows my entire workflow. So if you ask workflow related questions, like if you forget something 4 months down the line, right, you can just go back and ask, and it knows everything about you because it's literally your digital identity layer, right? So yeah, it can also generate HTML analysis reports, things like retrospection. Basically, you run sprints on your own life, similar to how you run it on an organization, right? So it's just a good feedback loop that you have with your AI that can unlock all these connections, hidden potential, and things like that. So yeah.
That's really amazing and detailed, Atharva. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll also maybe in the description put the link of your website, so if anyone wants to check, they can recheck it. That's really nice. And moving forward, we would love to know how you get to know about DevRelUni, as you have mentioned that you got to know it from Twitter, but specifically why you're just scrolling or from anyone, and so far what you have learned in the program that you want to share.
Right. So DevRelUni has been great. I learned about it on, actually there was a Substack post I think from Bianca herself that linked. I mean, on her X, I saw that she linked a Substack post that announced that the DevRelUni is going to be on, and luckily I just made it in time before the registrations closed off. So that's a big relief. After I signed up, I mean, everybody's in their own bubble of tech Twitter, and everybody. So like if you're a Web3 guy, you are always on. You're always getting that feedback, always getting those community events, and there's like in a single day, there's like 5-6 different things happening that you are interested in, right? So I always think you should definitely prioritize and pick the best of the things, and DevRelUni has truly been very additive in my journey. So yeah, so far I have learned 4 to 5 things I have taken with the assignments that we have in the breakout rooms that we have and the subgroups that we have, right? There's a lot of things that we have to learn. I've created a couple of notes. So I'll speak about 4 different pillars, right? So the first thing that I've learned based on the 3 current sessions is that DevRel's serious job is to bring ROI to the company by improving developer growth. So awareness, vibes, growth is all part of the whole package, right? And with the amazing lineup of speakers that we have had, I would like to focus on 4 pillars for high impact DevRel tasks. So the first pillar is nailing the product message, leading with the ROI, not the features, because developers mostly don't care about your feature list. They care about what problem you are solving and how loud that problem is, right? So every piece of content, talk, demo should answer how does that save their time, save their energy, save their headache, right? So if you position your product as a shortcut and not as a tool, I think it will be amazing. Second is talking about integrations. So even one of the topmost speakers that we had here, they mentioned that if your product integrates with giants like AWS, GCP, Kubernetes, Terraform, then your product market fit is already halfway there, because integrations signal maturity, right? They lower your adoption friction. So helping the companies achieve product market fit by showing how the product fits into existing stacks is a great accelerator. Then you can, in the age of AI, there's no better time to build your internal developer tools. You can build your ROI machine tool, your SEO analytics tool, or your content calendar application. We have tools like Lovable through which you are also building your own website, right? We have a VS Code and all of that. And currently the AI credits are very cheap to, it's very cheap, and you can get your organization to sponsor some of the credits to build fast and show value very quickly and early, right? So 3 things in building developer tools: simplify your APIs, build SDKs or internal apps, keep your documentation up to date and honest. So your screenshots, your code samples should all be up to date, and maintain a developer portal for yourself. where you, which can be similar to a second brain, where you build your internal apps, custom apps, either for yourself to accelerate your workflow or for your organization to give them that visibility. Because you can convert those old Excel sheets into a good interactive web app, right? And it's very easy to do that with things like Laravel and so on. So these were the 4 pillars that I wanted to talk about.
Amazing. That's really nice, Atharva, for you to share all the amazing learnings that you got so far from the program. For me too, I've got to learn a lot and got to meet a lot of amazing people like you. It's really amazing. Okay, moving forward, what you are building in DevRelUni as a project, we would love to know more about, and specifically why.
Yes. So DevRelUni, I'll share my screen. So it's basically a passion project that goes over the current frictions that DevRels may be facing or ideas that they might not be the most familiar with. One second. Let me check if that's up. So that will pretty much have playbooks. In playbooks, we will.
Your screen is stuck. Your screen is still showing, yeah, Atharva blog. That was, yeah, now it's working.
Yeah, so it's currently work in progress. So take the UI UX a little bit with a pinch of salt. But yeah, the core problem that this is going to solve, and I've hosted it on a subdomain that I have. So the CI/CD aspect of it is done. So the core problem it is solving is enabling all the developer advocates, all the product managers, and people who want to build in public, right? So it's for 3 kinds of ICPs and personas. What it will have for you is several playbooks. Whether you're launching an app, you're building a community, you're creating content. Let me just jump to the playbooks. So we have playbooks for almost every event that you might come across. Whether some crisis has happened at your organization, whether you're handling outages, because this is something that is covered very rarely, right? People will definitely cover how to build community, and there's good resources as well. But there's only few resources on how to handle crisis. What if outages happen? What if incidents happen, right? What if, because as a DevRel, your job is to handle the good part as well as the bad part. So I have tried to cover all aspects regarding, what are the day-to-day rules of a DevRel and how you can be empowered or get that career boost by adopting this. So, for example, building a community. Now, this is not final, but this gives you a checklist, and I plan to make, underway, I plan to make this much more deeply nested. So for this item, you will get to see 5 more action items and tick them off, right? But yeah, if you're planning to build a community, what all can you do? We have a checklist here. We have the priority here. We have what has worked here. This is based on social signals from LinkedIn, X, and Reddit, and from highly actionable, highly successful people. So I have just like with Claude or with Perplexity, I've scraped a lot of content and built a data mode, right? So this application will give you a data mode. This was about playbooks. We also have AI tools, right? So if you are launching a product, maybe on Product Hunt or something, what all can you do about it? Let me just turn on API key. And if you go to this, and if you just use an example input, you can also attach what your product does and things like that with this here. But yeah, you can test that out. But assuming that you want a product launch checklist, right? You are launching a new feature or you're launching a new application. As DevRels, it's very easy to build an application nowadays, but it's very hard to market it, right? So you get your entire launch checklist. So based on your prompt, plus any file that you attach, that could have your PRD, that could have your application screenshots, things like that, right? It will give you a complete launch checklist with the ability to tick it off as well, right? So you can just go through this. So pre-launch activities, launch day activities, it could be publishing a blog post, community channels, things like that. And it heavily depends on what sort of outcome you want and what sort of idea you have in here, right? So this is not static. It will be very specific to your prompt, right? So so people get confused. I don't know which prompt to use. I don't know which skill to use. With this, you get a very high level web application sort of an abstraction. So you don't have to worry about any prompts. You don't have to worry about any skills. All you have to do is executing your day-to-day job and putting ideas here. So you get these pre-launch, launch day, post-launch sorts of items. That was just one AI tool. We also have content repurposing, demo to distribution, demo run of the show. So developers attend conferences as well, right? You attend a lot of conferences, so you might want to generate some notes out of your presentations. So I'll just take this webhooks API as an example. Obviously, you can, all of this is customizable, but if you want to build your run of the show, which means like if you want a script, if you want to ideate what your talk could look like, right? Just attach your brain dump here, attach your target audience, the demo goal, whether you want to convert people, whether you want to build product engagement, and here you get a full timeline of what you should be speaking about. Obviously, you can change the duration. It's based on the duration here, but you get a script. You get what would be the talking points. So all of this will enable people who have not spoken up previously, or who have not, attended events but want to attend events. So this will work for newcomers to basically start speaking out in developer conferences, or help someone ideate what the next talk could be at their organization or at a public event, right? And you have all of this flow setup based on your inputs, and you also have, if something goes down, right, risks that can happen. If suddenly the API is down, what can you do about it? If suddenly some failure happens, what can you do about it? If like all these things can happen, right? And you want to be prepared for all the things that could go wrong during a talk. So it also lists down all the risks that are attached, and you should be taking precautions against, so that none of this happens. And even if it happens, how can you smoothly fail over and transition into something? So we have 4 AI tools. With time, I will think about adding a few more as well. Resources is where these are community contributed resources. I plan to make it like a portal for events and hackathons, good DevRel communities you can join, learn courses for DevRels where you can just click and start learning, tools and platforms. And all of these are external things, right? So this is, I'm not posting all of this here, but it's pointing to external things. It's just like a directory of resources that you can jump about. And you have your strategies and top basically articles in the DevRel space. The best part about resources is that you can also suggest a resource, because I want to make this app open, I want to make this app collaborative. So you can suggest a resource, and if it's a good resource, either me or any admins of this site can take a look and add it to the directory, and it will start showing up along with your name as well, right? So regardless of which category of resource that you have, you can submit it. If you know that a developer is happening, maybe hosting that event, right? You can request a listing here, and it will show once like that listing is approved and all looks good, right? Then it will definitely start showing up in the resources section. So it will be an evergreen, automatically enriching experience. And people are very picky about their models. So I also added a feature to change your AI provider, because people might not like the principles of OpenAI, but they might want like the principles and how the data is processed at Anthropic. So it's model provider agnostic, which means you can bring your own model, you can bring your own API key, and if you are part of DevRelUni, then I can send you a code, and then you can try this out without any charges. So that's why I have set up a God mode, so that people who are close to me, beta testers, can just put my code in there and use that free of charge, just to experiment and give feedback early. So yeah, this is a good, it's good activity that I've built out in public, and it would not, this idea would not have struck me without DevRelUni and colleagues and folks like you, Manik. So yeah.
That's really amazing, Atharva. The product in which you're working, it can help a lot of people who are in the beginner, and a lot of people who are already been doing this thing for a long time. And you have listed all the resources, all the playbooks, and specifically that AI part. I love that. I wanted to know, like, the people have to log in, like make their account on the website, then they can suggest the resources, or it's like without login they can just submit the resources.
Currently, I've not set up an auth layer, but I'm trying to set up an auth layer. But at the moment, you don't have to be logged in. I'm trying to make it as accessible and simple as possible. All the data that you generate, like if you check something off, right, then it stays in your local session right now. But I will add a persistence layer to it. But yeah, it would be a good idea to have your username and things like that, so that we can match you, and you can have a profile with your social profiles and things like that, right? So in case like you may make a suggestion, along with your suggestion, your name, your social profile will all be visible, and that will compound and help developers get more traction through this.
Amazing. That's really amazing, and I would love to try it out and give feedback because I have working in this space for quite a long time. So last question we would have is any 3 advices and 3 mistakes that you want to give to our audience?
Yes. Yeah, I actually noted this down. So with the second brain that I have, because again, it has so much of value, right? So advice 1 is build your AI digital identity, right? So create your vault, Obsidian, Notion, whatever, right? Dump everything in it. Meeting notes, brain dumps, emails, bookmarks, job listings that you admire, your future goals, your past failures, all of it. You don't have to organize it. You can embrace the chaos. You can let AI process and organize it for you, right? I have some tool recommendations because I'm a very opinionated AI guy. So here's my tool stack. So if this helps, it will definitely unlock some potential, right? So I use Claude Chat for ideation and research. I use Claude Code for building automations, writing scripts, and managing that digital vault. I'll use Claude Routines for recurring scheduled tasks. So content audits, pipeline checks, monthly SEO audits, monthly inbound leads reporting, right? So build your workflows around your day job. That takes that gets you time to do other things and accelerate in other areas of your life. MCP connections are a big thing. So Slack, Google Drive, GitHub, Buffer, those are the MCP connections that I have. You can have so if you are into social signal monitoring, you can try a tool called Sensor Hub, which tracks dev activity in your niche on 3 tools, which is Reddit, X, and LinkedIn. And if you just put in your website, just your domain name, it can give 2,000 to 3,000 different discussions happening in your niche, right? So 2,000 discussions is a lot, and you can just dump it into an XLS and move from there. So Sensor Hub is another tool that I suggest. Advice 2 is so that was advice 1, which is building your digital content layer. Advice 2 is going deep in your niche and building in public. So pick your niche, know it inside and out. That competency pillar thing will definitely help you understand, do a star rating, do a analysis as to where you excel the most and where you don't, and do that gap analysis, right? Build things that are in your niche. So if I'm a DevRel, I will build DevRel tools. If you are a GTM engineer, you will build GTM workflows that are reusable by the community. So that's why you get community fame. You build community around you, around the product that you create in your niche, and let compounding take its effect. So niche expertise plus building in public around that niche is unmatched for your career growth, right? So yeah, and being specific beats being general anytime. So instead of saying I do marketing, I say I help cloud native security companies with GTM, right? So you know your audience, plus you know your problem that you're solving. And if you optimize your website, if you optimize your X, LinkedIn to have the same messaging across it, then you will be much more empowered and get a lot of inbound leads if you are being specific. Second thing is nowadays we have a lot of hackathons, a lot of CTFs. Definitely either participate in them, or if you're late in your career, organize them, right? Competing early in your career builds your portfolio. It helps you understand what teams are building. It gives you that competitive space to put yourself in and really analyze whether you are at par with the current industry benchmarks, whether you are up there with the average, average or above average people. So if you're a senior, you can organize them as well. That helps you build a community, source some talent, and stress test your product. So go do some more hackathons in CTF. And third one is apply real frameworks to your DevRel growth, right? So real frameworks in the sense, Patrick Skinner in the last, he told us about the Medic framework and how to apply that. He was from the military and he used principles from military into his technology or technology based roles, right? Similarly, there are some real frameworks, mental uh, models that can help you achieve a lot of growth. One that I use daily and I have built my skills around is the Eisenhower matrix, right? So an Eisenhower matrix tells you whether something is urgent, something is important, right? So it has these four quadrants. The first quadrant has important and urgent. The second quadrant has important and not urgent, things like that, right? So filter out your work to understand where your work falls and approach it like that, right? Then you have the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20. What are the 20% of the work effort that drives 80% of your results, right? The Medic framework that shout out to Patrick Skin that he told us about, which is metrics, economic buyer, decision criteria, decision process, identity plan, all of that, right? So identify 2 to 3 good mental models. If you are in business side of things, you could do some MBA frameworks, things like that, right? But identify those mental models and build your skills, build your frameworks, build your thought process around that. That will definitely help. So those three.
Wonderful. That's really good. And 3 mistakes that you've conducted in your life, which you want to share so that our audience could learn a lot from them. Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to go personal, but I want to just cast a wide net. So so just so that everyone learns about it, right? So mistake one, and I still am guilty to this day, is juggling too many things at once, right? So and I'm sure this is a common experience. It's not unique to me. Everybody is juggling so many things at once. So I have basically spread myself thin across 10 different projects and not going in the same depth as they deserve, right? Right now, I'm focusing on this one tool called DevRel Workbench, but in the background, I have to maintain my website, my Substack, I have to show up at work. So basically, you must operate. I mean, I would advise that myself and everybody else to operate in maximum 2 to 3 things at once, because not every single project requires the same level of attention, right? If you want to prioritize 10 things, then the level of depth for thing X should be greater than thing Y. If X is going to add more value, add more ROI to your life or to your organization, right? So you must understand that not all projects are meant to have the same amount of time and energy commitment, right? So I learned this the hard way, but the quality of output drops when you context switch so much. So at once, maybe try to do only 2 to 3 things, right? So that's mistake one. Mistake two is focusing on low priority work or thinking that just working on something is going to get you up there, right? Because being busy is not the same as being productive. So spending tasks on time that feel urgent but are not important is different. Something can be urgent, but it could not be important, right? So polishing things when nobody is going to see them, optimizing things that don't need optimization at a certain level, right? You must have heard a popular developer struggle, which is like, until you hit 1,000 users, why are you worrying about Kubernetes? Why are you worrying about scaling that app, right? You could just operate in an Excel sheet. So until you are up there, you can focus on other things rather than scaling something which you don't really need for 2 to 3 years, right? So ruthless prioritization, right? So how does this move the needle? If the answer is no, you can just cut it. So that's where the Eisenhower matrix and Pareto principle also save you. Without a framework, everything feels important. So don't focus on tasks just because you have to complete them. Focus on them and do them only if they are moving the needle in a certain way or having a good enough impact on your life, or if you are absolutely sure that this will, transform the experience for your organization, your community, or yourself. And mistake number 3 is engaging for the sake of engagement. So there's a lot of bait on social media. There's a lot of AI generated slop on social media, right? Everybody's showing up to every event, every call, every Slack thread without a clear reason. They just want to feel included. They just want to feel part of it, right? Similarly, same was the case for the past 2 years. So trivial engagement gives you the illusion of progress. It's not actually progress, right? So instead of joining 15 different communities, so all of my mistakes will be about volume and doing too much, right? I don't think burnout is something that you should face early in your career. That's why if you're more focused, you will save yourself the hassle of spending too much energy on things that are not moving the needle to actually focusing on things that could put you 10x ahead, because that opportunity cost is big, right? So be strategic where you put your attention, and be strategic in the communities that you participate. It would not make sense for me to participate in Web3 conferences, at least at the current career position that I'm in, because I mean, my job role and my audience lives completely elsewhere, right? So it would not make sense for me. Similarly, vice versa, for Web3 people, they don't want to do Web 2.0 stuff, or they don't want to. I mean, they can obviously explore. It's always good to dip your feet in, but you can't make that as your primary thing, right? Regardless of how good it feels from the outside. So yeah, quality of engagement over quantity of engagement is good, and the DevRelUni course is really, uh, driving that. So we are having deep conversations instead of having 20 different surface level exchanges. So do less, but do it in a more mindful manner. It's something.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Atharva. That's really, really deep. And I guess a lot of people would get to know a lot of things from that, and it'll really change their life. And it will definitely help me as well to navigate ahead in my career, because I'm also juggling a lot of things. And I also believe that I'm prioritizing the things which is not important but feels urgent. So this is something that I learned from the podcast with you. And thank you so much for your time and for all the insights that you shared. Meet you in the upcoming class today at 10:30 p.m. Okay, bye bye. Have a nice day.